It is time for your Monday Night Raw preview. The Authority's back. The match card for Payback is incomplete, and much, much more. Let's do this. That's right. That's right. I'm your boy Dead on Dave, and we are here to talk about your Monday Night Raw preview. So let's jump right into it. Thank you for joining me once again right here on Dead on Dave Productions. I always appreciate the support. You guys are the best viewers on YouTube. Those of you who come out and watch the Fat Man each and every single day right here on Dead on Dave Productions, I really appreciate it. So we've got a Monday Night Raw preview to get to, and there's a lot to talk about. Mainly, I think the biggest talking point going into this Monday Night Raw, which I know it's hard to believe, is a go-home show for Payback, is the fact that there is no Payback to go home to. There's two matches right now. Two. Dose. They're both championship matches, granted, one being the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the fatal four-way between Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose, and the other being the United States Championship I Quit match between John Cena, Rusev, and Lana's soul, and more than likely her virginity. So you got those two matches, which are fine. I mean, nothing spectacular, I don't think. Neither one of those matches are selling you on the card. And that's the thing. Any of the other matches that are going to be designed for Payback, because we have a bunch of fringe things, but anything that is designed for Payback at this point, none of them in and of itself is going to be enough to sell Payback. I think that's one of the reasons why they decided to make May another free month for the network, because I think they understood the fact that nobody gives a shit about this card, which is a problem. I'm not going to say it's not a problem, because it obviously is. You have to have a card to sell. Pay-per-views are what drive interest into the following Mondays. You know, you gotta have a reason for Monday Night Raws to matter, and that's why I'm one of those people who do not think that pay-per-views need to go away and be less frequent, because really you can't go 8, 9, 10 weeks without an event to kind of push the Raws too. That's kind of where we are right now. Television needs something to drive to. Now, it would be nice if these pay-per-views had more importance, but that's subjective, because I mean, any World Heavyweight Championship match is important, let alone a fatal four-way between four of the top guys in the WWE right now. Now, we might not be excited because of how these guys have been handled, such as Seth Rollins, so I think they have sucked every bit of momentum they could out of this guy by making him one of the weakest-looking champions in a very long time. By the way, big shout-out to Wounded Warrior Project, of which I am an alumni of. I want to go ahead and just, love my Army brethren and everybody out there who's been hurt. I do plan on doing a Wounded Warrior donation show, like a drive, a fundraiser show really soon for the Wounded Warrior Project. And I haven't talked to everybody else in the community about it yet, but I used to do it with my boys out in Boston and good friends from Soul Crushing Radio. They used to do a yearly drive for the Wounded Warrior Project, and I'd like to take that up in their stead and do that. Sorry to get off topic. It's just something I wanted to bring up real quick because it's very near and dear to my heart. Having gone through the project and still being a member. So something I wanted to bring up real quick. But back to what I was saying, you have to have a reason to care about these championship matches. And with Seth Rollins being this weak-ass pussy of a champion, it's kind of hard to really care. Now, that being said, the possibility of putting the belt on Ambrose at this point is intriguing. I think it's very intriguing. What I also think is intriguing is the fact that they've kind of downgraded the stance of the belt, that it's almost becoming a necessity to possibly start talking about bringing Brock Lesnar back early, which would be a great thing. I'd love to see the Beast incarnate come back. I love Brock Lesnar. So getting away from that and getting into the rest of the card, that's what Raw is going to be about. That's going to be the important thing. So the question becomes, what happens? Where are they going to build? And the other matches that really are worth talking about is while no title implications, it seems like they have all but completely put Neville and Barrett in a full-fledged feud, trading victories over each other, and they need a rubber match to kind of determine who's going to take this. Now, the question does become, do you have Adrian Neville go over the newly minted King Barrett, or do you keep Barrett's momentum? But at the expense of Neville kind of seems, I don't know, random. So I think, if anything, maybe another fatal four-way between, I hate two fatal four-ways on the same card, but why not have Sheamus, Ziggler, Neville, and Barrett in the same match? Or you got to do something with all four of them, I would think. I don't want to see a tag match because we've seen that. But at the same time, I don't know if I want to see two individual matches of Sheamus and Ziggler and Neville and Barrett, matches that we have seen a few times now. Maybe switch them up. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they build that. Of course, the tag team title match, that looks like it's going to happen at this point. How are they going to make this match a little more important, I think, is the question, considering we just saw the title match on SmackDown, and it was a little underwhelming. They're going to have to do that match again. Maybe add a third team to this mix, and why not the Primetime Players? Why not the Primetime Players to at least set up the possibility of adding new members to the New Day? Now, I know that might seem a little short-sighted and racist of me. Oh, they're two black men. Why add them to the New Day? Well, the question really does become, why not add them to the New Day? You know, the Primetime Players, now, as much as I love the fact that they're doing all these backstage vignettes, the only places they're wrestling is on Main Event. That's the only place they're wrestling. So if you're not going to do anything important with them, why not go ahead and insert them into the tag title match somehow, which they could do easily on this go-home show. I don't think that would be very difficult to do that. And have them at least have the possibility of joining New Day and kind of keeping the New Day's winning ways on track by being even more nefarious. I mean, a triple threat tag team match and having two of the teams merge into one and beating the hell out of Kid and Cesaro. I mean, that's awesome. I don't think the time is right to take the belts and put them back on Kid and Cesaro. I think the New Day has too much juice at this point. You want to continue them being this amazingly effective heel group, and winning in terrible fashion is the way to go. So, are we going to see Sheamus and Ziggler? I think that's important to talk about. I touched on it. I don't know if seeing that match again is a really good thing. That's why I kind of want to combine them all together. But at the same time, there has to be a resolution here. We have to move on just a little bit. Neville you could turn somebody heel. I don't know. This is a tough one. Ziggler needs something a little more fresh. Maybe a heel turn by him. I don't know. It's a weird situation because you can't have them continue to go in the same manner. What I think should happen. This is how I would book this because I'm having such a hard time with these two matches. This is what I would do. I would have a surprise appearance by Daniel Bryan, vacating the title, or at least making an announcement by the Authority, who will be returning, and that's another big story for tonight, of having a situation for the Intercontinental title at Payback, and these four guys, Neville, Barrett, Sheamus, and Ziggler, vying for the championship. Either doing a tournament, which kind of favors King Barrett since he just won the King of the Ring, but that kind of takes a little bit of juice away from the King of the Ring, or a Fatal 4-Way, which also takes a little bit of juice away from the Fatal 4-Way main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, I mean, it's complicated. It's so hard to book this properly because of the circumstances of how they're sandwiched in. And this is what happens when injuries happen. You know, it's kind of hard to put it all together sometimes. And this is one of those situations. We do have the Divas match, if anybody cares. Yes, Naomi's got the new attitude, and yes, Tamina being with her is important, and that's great. But I felt that she gave another kind of shaky performance on SmackDown. It makes me kind of think that maybe maybe they are a little misplaced in where they're putting her. I don't know. She's still very sloppy at times, and you got to get rid of the rear view. But at the same time, Nikki Bella is not exactly doing anything to wow me either. So maybe it's time to take the belt off her. You do it at Payback, and maybe it's time for the bells to go away. I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't really look like this is going to be a title match, though, because they've put a lot of emphasis on those two being Naomi and Tamina and the Bellas. So I see a tag team match being at Payback, considering we just had Naomi and Nikki for the title at the last pay-per-view. So they don't want to sandwich them back-to-back like that. Most of the time, you're going to buffer it with a tag team match. The Bellas versus the family. I mean, family versus family in essence. So I could see that happening. But it wouldn't surprise me if we got Naomi versus Nikki for the title one more time as well. And then we have all kinds of crazy interference by Tamina and Brie. Now, there's been all these situations of Brie dropping the ball lately. Is that going to come to a head and the Bellas turn on each other again? That's a possibility too. So you have all of these situations that could come full head tonight. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do with that match as well. And then, of course, you have the match nobody really gives a shit about that obviously is going to happen at some point, probably at Payback, and that, of course, is Ryback and Bray Wyatt. Does anybody care? I mean, does anybody out there give a shit? I don't. And Ryback's not the right guy for Wyatt. It's kind of an obvious victory for Bray. If Ryback does get a win, it's going to be because of a reunion, I think. I think they're really coming close to putting the Wyatt family back together completely, which leads me to another possibility of a situation for tonight, and that is, of course, Harper and Rowan looking to really come back together. It looks like that's all but inevitability at this point. I think that would be good for the fans. The fans would like to see them back together. They're absolutely dominant. And not only that, but the tag team division could really use the boost. And if you put them, they could be that third team that I was talking about. There's no reason why they can't. If you don't want to do the angle with the primetime players, why not put Harper and Rowan into that match, which changes the dynamic of that match completely and really gives it an opportunity to be something absolutely epic. That would be great. So hopefully that's going to come to a head, and maybe even have a match between the two at Payback, which I don't like that idea. Even saying it, I didn't like that idea. So we'll see what happens there. Now, I think the other big question, of course, that comes from every Raw now, which is a really good reason to keep the belt on Cena, is the John Cena United States Open Championship. Being the Open, anybody can challenge. Now, I believe Rusev already said that he was going to come destroy Cena on Raw. I think that he's already made it apparent that he is going to not let that happen. The United States Open challenge happen on Raw. But if it does, we need to see another guy from NXT, I think. I would love it to be either Balor or Kevin Owens. Look, Kevin Owens makes a lot of sense right now, especially considering that Zayn is probably not going to be able to make this title match on May the 20th. It makes a lot of sense to have Owens make his debut now. Why not? Why not? I mean, hell, you could have him and Balor again, but who cares? I don't care about that. I don't think there's any feuds really left for Owens down at NXT. I just don't. Why not have him come up now and make an impact? I think that would be great. I think it'd be a hell of a lot of fun. It'd be interesting. And it could be a way to shake up the entire situation with Cena and Rusev. Have there ever been a triple threat I Quit match? That'd be kind of cool to see, wouldn't it? I don't know. That's complete far-fetched nonsense. I know that's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. But it would be kind of cool just to throw him in there. It's a triple threat I Quit match as Kevin Owens is defending his newly won United States Championship. I mean, that's crazy, crazy, crazy thinking. But it would be fun to see. More than likely, Slater will get destroyed by somebody again. And it's just going to be interesting to see how they decide to do it. I'm not exactly sure what's the best way. Maybe a reintroduction of Adam Rose. I mean, he's been getting a lot of talk after that E30 on the ESPN documentary, he's been getting a lot of talk about him because people are really enamored with him, you know, just him on his own. People are really, really, really enamored with him. And I think it's time to pull the trigger on getting rid of Adam Rose and bringing back the character that people really associate with. And I can't remember his freaking name, his old name. Go back to that. Why not? It's time to rebrand Adam Rose, I think. I really do. And, of course, the last thing is, are they going to be able to do anything with the Authority coming back and more talk and everything with the World Heavyweight title situation? Are they going to be able to add some extra juice to this title match and just make it matter? How are they going to do it? Having Dean Ambrose be chaotic is one way, and he did add a lot of value to that contract signing. His entertainment value is by far the highest of the four guys in this match. But, I mean, it's Raw, so we're going to get some kind of a tag team match, I'm sure. The Authority is going to say Seth Rollins and Randy Orton are going to have to put their differences aside one more time and be partners tonight to take on the team of Ambrose and Reigns. I could see that happen. I don't know. I'd also like to see a curveball out of nowhere and Rollins kind of just leave the Authority and reform the Shield or something. I don't know. But it just feels like anything's in play because nothing is really hitting home. The one problem that I can say that it does not exist recently on WWE product is the actual wrestling. It's the thing that people seem to be complaining the least about is the actual in-ring wrestling product because it hasn't been bad. There's been nothing wrong with it. So, that's a plus. But it's kind of just everything else right now that's been a little bit of an issue for me connecting-wise. Connecting-wise has been tough. So, what do you think is going to happen on Monday Night Raw? I'm interested to see what you guys think. Should be great. Thanks for everybody for calling in last night on Dead on Dave Live. I thought we had, once again, we keep having a better show each and every week. Joe Cronin was awesome last night. We had some new callers. We had some old callers. And I got to just vent and just talk and go on tangents, which was a lot of fun. So I really want to say thank you to everybody who made last night's show even better than last week, which is becoming a common theme. So thank you guys. Dead on Dave Live is becoming a great success because of your support. So thank you. And continue to watch that. I really appreciate it. And so that's really exciting. The next couple of weeks are going to be kind of crazy. Tommy C, my buddy, my partner over on Shot from the Point, he is getting married. He's getting married. And I'm going to be taking over Shot from the Point for 2 to 3 weeks. And it's going to be hectic. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because I'm not shutting my channel down. I'm doing everything together. And I'm still keeping my Joe Cronin duties as well. So your boy's going to be burned out. If you see sunken eye holes or if I have to miss a show or a day every now and then, please be understanding about it because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a rough one. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to kind of testing my limits and most importantly, exhausting every single one of you of ever seeing me again because there's going to be a lot of Dave coming up. So if you're not a fan, it's time to find another YouTube guy. And if you are a fan, it's orgasmic time. I mean, more Dead on Dave is nothing wrong with that, right? So I really appreciate all the support. You guys are awesome. Like, subscribe, and share. We're moving up in likes. We're getting there. I want to catch Tommy C. I want to get to 1,000. We're at 627. I just want him to know that we're right behind him. We're coming up, and you don't know what we're going to do when we are behind you. So thank you guys very much for getting me higher up on subs. I appreciate that. We're about to hit 100,000 views on the channel, which I think is exciting. I think it's pretty good. It's September 21st, 100,000 views on all the videos here on Dead on Dave Productions. I think that's really awesome. So again, thank you for that as well. Other than that, I think it's time to wrap this up. Enjoy Monday Night Raw tonight. You can catch me on the Joe Cronin Show live right after Raw for a full review. Should be a great show. Hopefully we'll actually get through the entire show. That'll be fun. And also a little bit later on, my boy Jeff Huffman right here on Dead on Dave Productions will be doing episode 7 of Touch 'Em All, our weekly baseball show. Where we'll be getting into everything in the world of Major League Baseball. So thank you guys once again. Like, subscribe, and share. And remember, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. See you next time. Peace.